It's early days because, we haven't reached any agreement. What I can say is that since the reports have come out, I've received an overwhelming amount of calls locally and internationally in support of it, and also the president. So, we're looking at it and seeing what happens. Of course, it would be a conflict of interest, and I would definitely have to give up that position because that's the person that I would be reporting to. The finance committee chair would oversee the operations, and I've already been speaking to the president about that situation there, that if I was to take it up, then someone suitably would be identified, someone of very good experience and who understands finance and accounting. So those are issues we realize. The whole matter of governance and the business side of it is key, and one of the things that's important. So I think that's the greatest application that can be done, and that's what I'm going to be looking for. And remember that, if this is something I take up, then I'm one person. So, you don't look at one person and say that they make an organization or make an administration. You put people in their respective roles, and, you lean on people.
Alright, good day guys, good day to you all. Welcome back to the Formula Sports channel. Thanks for being here. Knock up like button, subscribe and share. Free and easy ways to support the channel. We're talking about Dennis Chung. Seen a development earlier this week that, in my humble opinion, is probably arguably the most important development in Jamaica's football for quite some time. And we have had some important developments in recent time, right? If this particular individual, Dennis Chung, becomes the General Secretary of the Jamaica Football Federation, it will be a massive, massive deal. Seeing so you guys realize by now, we're talking Dennis Chung. The clips that you heard in the video that was shared on screen a while ago is from Television Jamaica. Seeing, Dennis Chung speaking initially when it just came out, he said he had not received an offer. Then he stated in that clip that he has received an offer that he is currently contemplating. Seeing, if he gets it, man, if he gets it, trust me, man, it is a big deal for Jamaica's football. Initially, there were reports saying that, he was unsure if he would be willing, but he seems to be coming around to the idea. I'm going to explain to you why this is such a massive deal. Seeing what he brings to the table from a sponsorship standpoint, ladies and gentlemen, sponsorship would go through the roof for the Jamaica Football Federation. I genuinely believe that. Seeing, when you talk about the credibility that this man brings to the table, seeing his reputation precedes him, the integrity that this man brings to the table and the reputation of said integrity, his professionalism, right, his business acumen, that is not only nationally recognized but also regionally recognized as well. This man is of a different ilk, a different class to anyone that I can remember ever stepping foot in the Jamaica Football Federation, in the wretched building down on St. Lucia Avenue in New Kingston. This gentleman is next level. As I said, his reputation precedes him. You see, sponsorship, let me tell you something. Corporate, he is not going to be calling corporate Jamaica. He's not going to be going around trying to source sponsorship. This man is the caliber of businessman that sponsorship call him. That is the levels we are talking about here, and I'm gonna be a little bit more specific about that. One of Dennis Chung's previous roles was what CEO of the PSOJ. For those of you who don't know what the PSOJ is, it is the private sector organization of Jamaica. The private sector corporate Jamaica has seen and experienced firsthand what Dennis Chung brings to the table. They know, the private sector in Jamaica knows this individual very well. His clout, his reputation. Trust me, people. Next level stuff we're talking about here. See, another thing that he brings to the table is he will make our national head coach's job a lot easier. Because things off the pitch always affects matters on the pitch as well. The former Gensek himself alluded to that in a Sportsmax interview a couple of months ago, right? Speaking about how the bag of foolishness going into that Saudi Arabia trip affected the performance in especially that first game that we had lost 3-0. He himself admitted that. Seeing the new coach Jaime Grimson will have his task a lot easier, given the change, and a lot less frustrating. Seeing dealing with this individual as the general secretary. Seeing he's next level to the previous Gensek, no doubt about it. Dalton Wink made his name at the Jamaica Football Federation. This individual, Dennis Chung, has made his name long before even being associated with the Jamaica Football Federation. The first things that I said when I would have heard of this individual being linked to the Gensek position. As a matter of fact, when he initially got the chairman of the finance committee job at the JFF, right? The first thing I said to myself is, why a man of this ilk would want to get into this mess of a federation? When I heard him being linked to the Gensek job, from an image standpoint, I'm saying to myself, why would he want to be associated with an organization that many deem to be so corrupt and so inept? Another thing I said to myself is, where would he get the time to do a job like this, right? It has since come out that he is resigning from his position at Supreme Ventures, and that he is stepping down from his position at the National Solid Waste Management Authority. He was the chairman there, right? So that news came out after him being linked to the Gensek position. So that answered, that. And he has a number of other, like he's sitting on a number of boards and that kind of a thing. So at the very least, because I knew he was at Supreme Ventures and also at the National Solid Waste Management Authority. So it's good to, well, he couldn't be the Gensek and do those at the same time. He definitely couldn't. I can't imagine how that would work, right? Also, could the JFF afford to pay this man? Can the JFF afford to pay this individual? Let's talk quickly about why would he get himself involved in a mess like this, right? There are a number of reasons why Dennis Chung might want to get himself involved with Jamaica's football scene. A new challenge. Individuals like Dennis Chung relish being tested, relish challenges. You don't get to where a Dennis Chung has gotten to by embracing smooth paths, right? And the Jamaica Football Federation is the ultimate challenge. There's no greater challenge than the Jamaica Football Federation. See, it is also a very high-profile job, probably even more high-profile than his previous jobs, as big as some of them are. President and Gensek of the JFF believe it or not, is one of the most high-profiled roles in Jamaica, in corporate Jamaica, Seriously, seeing a job like this would bring about the possibility of more international recognition for his talents, seeing and turning around the Jamaica Football Federation will be a massive feather in Dennis Chung's hat if he could actually pull it off, right? As impressive as his resume is already, it would look far more impressive if he is the man turned around, if he's the man credited with turning around this Reggae Jamaica Football Federation. Trust me, as high as his clout is already, his clout would skyrocket even more if he was the one Jamaica deemed to be the one responsible for turning this Jamaica Football Federation around. Some of his previous jobs include past president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants, right? I'm not so sure if he was the CFO or the co-CEO of Supreme Ventures Limited, right? He has resigned though, effective October the 31st, but some reports say that he is the CFO, Chief Financial Officer, while some reports say that he's the co-CEO, right? It don't really matter. He have a big position at one of the top corporate entities in Jamaica. That is what he's leaving to if he potentially signs up with the Jamaica Football Federation. He was also CEO of the PSOJ, Private Sector Organization of Jamaica, which is also, something that I alluded to, how that will benefit if he does take up the GenSec role. And also, he was the president of the Jamaica Cycling Federation. So he has dipped his feet in sports administration previously, albeit at the Jamaica Cycling Federation, nowhere as big as the JFF. That is true. One thing I want to point out is that Dennis Chung has been in the JFF long enough to have a very good idea about what is required from a footballing general secretary, right? He has been in the JFF for over 2 years now, and he has been right there seeing what Dalton Winter has been doing. So for those naysayers who talk about, yes, him have this big resume and comes with big reputation and all of that stuff, but him not really know about football administration. He has been in the JFF long enough to get a good idea, right, of what being a general secretary is all about. Plus, it don't really matter. The fact of the matter is this man has headed some of the biggest organizations in this country, right? I am sure the learning curve for an individual like this for the position of GenSec would be an extremely short learning curve compared to others that could take up the job. The man has incredible amount of experience and acumen when it comes to business administration and being at the head of that. That for me is enough, right? The JFF right now needs a supreme business mind at the position of the general secretary. I think it is a major development, and I think that if he does take up the position, it is arguably the most important development in Jamaica's football for a long time. Seeing guys, hit me up in the comment section, let me know what you think. Knock up like button, subscribe and share. Take care, stay safe, and until next time.